I can't believe Stinger's here!
Believe it, Michael, he's here!
The following contest is an elimination match.
Nate is in the house!
Making his way to the ring from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing in at 245 pounds, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Corey, can you imagine hanging out with Flair?
Absolutely, I've imagined it. That's probably all I'll ever get to do. A lifestyle I can only dream of. That's what it's like when you're running.
I smell money, guys!
And his opponents, first, from Palm Beach, Florida, weighing in at 260 pounds, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Everything about DiBiase is high class, the best of the best. DiBiase sweats champagne.
Sweat champagne? That's disgusting.
Hey, at least if you lose to the $1 Million Man, you get a $100 bill stuffed down your throat.
That's even worse.
Bigger payday than you ever received, Saxton. He looks like $1 million bucks.
There is nothing that Ted DiBiase can't buy. Everybody's got a price.
Do you have a price?
It could be that time.
And his opponents, first, from the Rocky Mountains, weighing in at 456 pounds.
Oh my God, the temperature's just dropped like 50 degrees in here.
Somebody get me a jacket.
What cemetery did they dig the Undertaker from?
And his opponents, first, from Death Valley, weighing in at 328 pounds, the Undertaker.
I got a feeling Undertaker's the kind of guy who does most of the digging.
Look at his face. His expression never changes. It's like he's possessed.
Yeah, but what's more terrifying is the agility that this big man possesses. You've seen him walk across the top rope. It's mystifying.
He has all the tools. Power, speed, dominance, mind games. How do you stop a man like this? And then these almost mystical powers. You look into the eyes of this man and you're frozen. Absolutely frozen.
It's like something straight out of a...
History has shown that no one assembles a team like the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. It's simply the best team money can buy.
Don't look now, but this has all the makings of those six-man classics we used to see back in world class.
Sting using his speed right there.
2016, the New Day found themselves in the middle of a sick and twisted rivalry with the Wyatt family. Things escalated to the point where Bray Wyatt invited the New Day to do battle at the Wyatt family compound. New Day accepted, but what followed was something no one expected or will ever be able to forget.
Corey, we've talked about six-man tag matches, and earlier you talked about one that caught the attention of the entire sports entertainment world. The New Day fought for survival amongst the darkness of the Wyatt family compound in a battle where pickaxes and cinder blocks were used as weapons and automobiles were used as battering rams.
The New Day versus the Wyatts at the Wyatt family compound was not your traditional six-man tag match, but it showed what can happen when issues between factions can't be resolved through a sanctioned WWE match. I'll tell you what, none of the men who fought in that conflict will ever be the same.
Vader struggling some here. Looks like he may have let his guard down there for a moment, and it cost him.
This thing appears to be slipping away from him in a hurry, guys, and you can bet he envisioned things going much differently for him heading into this match.
Oh, right to the gut.
Man, oh man.
That's a brutal way to have to land on the canvas. Working the gut. He's about as dirty as they come, guys. Set right to leg sweep.
Nicely done.
And a big chop.
There are times during a six-man tag match where the hostility between two teams overflows. The result is complete chaos, and all six superstars duke it out inside, and many times outside the ring. It's complete and total chaos. But if you're one of the legal competitors in the ring during that time, you must return to the ring before the referee's 10 count or risk being counted out and lose the match for your team.
Byron, you talked about the moment in six-man tag matches when all semblance of order breaks down. Many times the two teams are so determined to tear each other apart that they don't pay attention to who the legal person in the ring is or where the referee is in their 10 count. That's a huge mistake.
In the throes of battle, superstars lose their composure, and what was a six-man tag match breaks down into a Pier 6 brawl. And if you don't keep an eye on the referee's count, you could get counted out and be the reason your team loses the match. I can see Byron making that mistake and ruining it for everybody.
Something that is always important in a six-man match is having the ability to perform double-team moves. One of the things that successful six-man teams try and execute are double-team moves, and then have the third team member perform a signature or finishing maneuver to deliver maximum impact to an opponent.
There he goes, crashing to the floor. Teamwork is always paramount in a six-man tag match. Superstars want to be able to have a level of teamwork where two members of the trio perform a double-team move, and the third member follows that up with a move so their opponent is really down for the count.
The key is to deliver the maximum amount of punishment to your opponent in the least amount of time. You have until the referee's count of 5. It's not like you have all day in the ring, but if your team of 3 can deliver that type of offense, your trio will be in good shape.
Thanks to Raw General Manager Kurt Angle, in May of 2017, the WWE Universe saw a dream team come together when the Hardy Boys joined forces with the Lunatic Fringe Dean Ambrose. The exciting trio took on Sheamus, Cesaro, and The Miz. Truth be told, both Miz and Ambrose blended in with their impromptu tag team partners pretty well.
He's just so dominant. Byron, we always make a point to talk about continuity amongst team members. In the six-man match, where Dean Ambrose teamed with the Hardys against Sheamus, Cesaro, and The Miz, both teams worked very well together. That surprised me, since this was the first time they teamed together. but there was something that night about the lunacy of Dean Ambrose fitting perfectly with the Daredevil Hardy Boys.
I've got to say, I had goosebumps for a week after the Hardy Boys returned to WWE at 2017's WrestleMania. During that six-man on Raw, Team Extreme formed an effective trio with that lunatic Dean Ambrose. After a twist of fate from Matt Hardy, Jeff crushed The Miz with a Swanton bomb, and that was all she wrote.
Oh boy, he is rolling.
Dodges that one.
Stinging everything in sight right now, Michael.
That's a great example of a highly efficient and highly effective strike. What placement. Set him up.
Russian leg sweep.
Sting using his speed right there. And he lands the leg drop. The Undertaker in a very unfavorable position here.
At this point, I'd say he's probably better off taking a tag to one of his partners.
Well, he's clearly not used to competing in a match like this, and it's starting to show.
Yeah, I'm sure he saw things going differently for him here tonight, but that clearly isn't the case, unfortunately for him.
If I was the $1 Million Man, I'd be careful I don't wake a sleeping giant here. Six-man tag team matches have been a staple of competition since the early days of sports entertainment. Two teams of three compete against one another under traditional tag team rules. Stipulations can be added like no disqualification, 2 out of 3 falls, elimination, falls count anywhere, or whatever else someone could think of. Matches can also be held in a caged environment.
He gets it with a reversal. Six-man tags can be fought under so many different... Dusty Rhodes may have it. And it's $1 Million Man floundering some.
He comes up big there.
He can end it here. There are instances when a six-man tag match will feature a team where superstars have not always seen eye to eye, or are in the midst of a disagreement. When that's the case, someone on the team must step up and be the voice of reason so the trio can function as a cohesive unit. That's a great example of teamwork right there.
Here we go. No, that'll put you in a world of trouble. Corey, earlier you talked about what needs to happen when members of a six-man team have differences or had differences in the past. If the team can't find a way to get on the same page, they will not last very long. Someone on the team has to step up and make sure for at least that match, everyone on the team can work together.
That's easier said than done. Just because superstars might be favorites of the WWE Universe or have a common enemy, that doesn't mean they'll get along. It also doesn't mean that any past issues will magically go away. In this business, people have long memories, so if someone sees an issue on their team, they need to resolve it right away.
If you look up the word champion in the dictionary, there should be a full-page picture of Ric Flair in his diamond sequin robe in that classic WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And stomping away in the corner.
The Nature Boy's going all natural on him. Returning to your point about Ric Flair being champion, Michael, Flair's amazing body of work spans the globe and is the symbol of excellence in sports entertainment. And he was the first superstar to become a 16-time world champion.
There's one other word that should be linked to Ric Flair, fellas, and that's best. The Nature Boy spent 34 years as one of this industry's top guys. It's only
Ric Flair scores with a tremendous move.
Looks like the $1 Million Man's in. Woo! Game, set, match. This one is over. Hopefully the $1 Million Man can recover. Many consider Ric Flair to be the greatest world heavyweight champion of all time, the standard bearer by which all champions are measured. The Nature Boy also prides himself on being the dirtiest player in the game.
Byron brought up Ric Flair's nickname as the dirtiest player in the game. Even though Flair is beloved, He knew when to cut corners, whether it be pulling tights, wearing brass knuckles, or calling in backup like the Four Horsemen.
It's not cheating if you don't get caught, Cole. And Ric Flair rarely got caught.
Dusty Rhodes may have it.
Boom! Bionic elbow.
That has got to be it.
Guys, the $1 Million Man was at the center of perhaps the most infamous moment in the history of the WWE Championship when he tried to purchase the title back in 1988.
And he was almost successful, Michael. If you remember, the first part of the plan worked flawlessly when Andre the Giant dethroned Hulk Hogan for the title. But it all kind of fell apart after that. Vader using a little psychological warfare right here.
As Saxton mentioned, DiBiase nearly became WWE Champion in 1988, but let's not forget the most egregious part of that whole plan. Of course, I'm talking about the referee switch.
Yeah, it's hard to believe DiBiase would go so far as to have some guy get plastic surgery to look exactly like one of the WWE referees. But I guess that just goes to show how important the title was to him.
Wow, can't believe The Undertaker got out of that one.
Great job escaping, trying to turn this thing around.
The Undertaker digs deep into his opponent's head every chance he gets.
Stinky strike hits the mark. With the damage sustained by Undertaker, he could be on his way out.
This is about as bad as it gets.
He's got it in, he's got it in, good!
This one's over, guys.
Whoa, he lets him out.
What a fool. He had him dead to rights.
He's got to go for the cover. Sting in a bad way here.
And you know, all three of the superstars he's up against won't back down at any point during this match.
When you put that much meat in the ring, somebody's going to get hurt. And unfortunately for him, he's the one on the receiving end of this inevitable beatdown.
It looks to me like he took his foot off the gas there for a moment. When that happens, you run the risk of pile driver. That should do it.
When a superstar is in a six-man match, one of the most important things to remember is knowing when to tag out.
Undertaker's looking to end it.
Choke slam!
That might have done it, Cole. That'll readjust your spine.
What an all-star ensemble in the ring right now. 6 of WWE's most successful competitors for sure.
Corey, you spoke about when a superstar is in six-man action and how crucial it is that they have the presence of mind to realize when they need to tag out. Not everyone who competes as part of the six-man team has the ability to do that. We've seen many times over the years that a superstar's inability to do that has cost their team the match.
We've also seen over the years that not all superstars play well with others. Some competitors are so dedicated to singles careers that when they are put in a six-man team, they become a bit lost. That's when a mistake could be made, and it could be very costly.
Counter here.
And he's a guy that can flip a switch and turn it on like this.
He's lining him up.
He'd be smart to stay put there.
Uh-oh, this doesn't look good, Byron.
Yeah, this is how people end up getting hurt.
Six of WWE's most alpha personalities all competing in the same match. There's a good chance this one ends deteriorating sooner than later.
The Nature Boy's going all natural on him.
Clothesline.
Good Lord.
So
effective.
What does Ric Flair need to do now to remain a factor in this match? It appears his opponent has his number right now.
To be successful, the offensive style he's relying on tonight requires he not lose too much stamina. But by the looks of things right now, he might need a new game plan.
The bottom line here is that despite what's going on right now, he's still in much more favorable health than his opponent.
No, there's the reversal.
Headlock. Oh, and cheap shot right above the eye.
Over time, there have been various types of six-man teams that have been successful. There are family trios like the Guerreros, the Grahams, the Andersons, and the Von Erichs. There have been members of factions who have also produced tremendous six-man teams like the Fabulous Freebirds, the Four Horsemen, the NWO, and D-Generation X.
Here comes.
He's got it locked in. This one could be over. Looks like the $1 Million Man's in the red, guys.
Byron, you mentioned some families and groups that created incredible six-man teams. Talking more about
The $1
factions.
Million
Don't forget about the
Man
likes of the Hart
DiBiase
Foundation,
has been
Evolution, the
eliminated.
Wyatt family, the Shield, and the New Day. These are only some of the trios who had unbelievable matches against a variety of adversaries.
If we're talking about three-man teams, I need to shout out one of the baddest trios of all time who held the World Six-Man Championship on a number of occasions. I'm talking about the American Dream Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors.
Vader wants to put this away. Oh, and he releases the hold. Powerbomb!
But I don't know how much gas he has left, guys.
No, he releases the hold.
What in the world is he thinking? Does he not want to win? The bionic elbow from the Dream.
And punic if you will. Here's his moment, Michael.
Nobody strings together a series of moves better, Cole.
Look at this. He let it go.
Curious decision there, Michael.
And he comes crashing down.
Oh, man, what a hit.
Knocked right off the apron.
Six-man tag team matches have been a staple of competition since the early days of sports entertainment. Two teams of three compete against one another under traditional tag team rules. Stipulations could be added like no disqualification, 2 out of 3 falls, elimination, falls count anywhere, or
Dusty Rhodes may have it.
he can turn up the heat at will, it seems.
Unbelievable move by Dusty Rhodes.
Just when you thought he had nothing left.
Six-man tags can be... Dusty Rhodes may have it.
Boom! Bionic elbow.
This is not where Vader...
Can he do it here? Oh, and he breaks up the pin. No, he lets him out.
Yeah, I think he knew he wasn't going to get the submission there.
He lets it go.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Look out. Ric Flair is measuring.
Ooh, no one does it better.
That's what he was looking for, Michael. Hopefully Vader can recover. Something that is always important in a six-man match is having the ability to perform double-team moves. One of the things that successful six-man teams try and execute are double-team moves, and then have the third team member perform a signature or finishing maneuver to deliver maximum impact to an opponent.
Pick the leg. Oh, man. That'll tear your hamstring.
Teamwork is always paramount in a six-man tag match. Superstars want to be able to have a level of teamwork where 2 members of the trio perform a double-team move, and the third member follows that up with a move so their opponent is really down for the count.
Ric Flair is getting ready here.
And he releases the hold.
I don't think he had it fully well.
That'll have you worrying about long-term injuries for sure.
This one is
Vader
over.
has been
Nobody survives
eliminated.
that, Michael. Over time, there have been various types of six-man teams that have been successful. There are family trios like the Guerreros, the Grahams, the Andersons, and the Von Erichs. There have been members of factions who have also produced tremendous six-man teams like the Fabulous Freebirds, the Four Horsemen, the NWO, and D-Generation X.
He releases it.
And you can debate whether or not that would have been the end. Interesting decision there.
Byron, you mentioned some families and groups that created incredible six-man teams. Talking more about factions, don't forget about the likes of the Hart Foundation, Evolution, the Wyatt family, the Shield, and the New Day. These are only some of the trios who had unbelievable matches against a variety of adversaries.
If we're talking about three-man teams, I need to shout out one of the baddest trios.
Look out, Rick with a knee drop!
From the second rope, right on target.
That's how you put an exclamation point on the end of a match, guys.
There are instances when a six-man tag match will feature a team where superstars have not always seen eye to eye. Or
Players in position, the figure four!
This one's over, guys.
Going for something else, it seems.
I suspect he knows something that we don't, Cole. Why else would he just let him out of that hole?
Corey, earlier you talked about what needs to happen when members of a six-man team have differences or had differences in the past. If the team can't find a way to get on the same page, they will not last very long. Someone on the team has to step up and make sure for at least that match, everyone on the team can work together.
Well, that's easier said than done. Just because superstars might be favorites of the WWE Universe or have a common enemy, that doesn't mean they'll get along. It also doesn't mean that any past issues will magically go away. In this business, people have long memories, so if someone sees an issue on their team, they need to resolve it right away.
What's going to happen now?
Oh boy, he is rolling.
Pokes him right in the eye. Playing dirty here. And he slams him down. Looks like he has other plans here.
I think he was just looking to soften him up a little here. The Undertaker looking to bury another victim.
Looking to steal. Shoulders down. 2, 3.
Ric Flair has been eliminated.
He's bringing it back inside the ring now.
Clothesline to the back of the neck.
It's not very often you see 6 superstars of this caliber competing at the same time.
Whoa, this is surprising, Byron.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he would let him out right there. What's the Undertaker got in mind here?
Hey, Byron, how about we take things a little old school?
Yeah, I like it.
Boom! Wow, what a gritty performance.
He can end it here. 2. Oh, I can't believe he had the energy to kick out of that.
Still in it.
What a gutsy performance.
He's making a statement here with this attack.
Takes him down.
In a major way, too.
Look at this. He let it go.
Curious decision there, Michael.
Dusty Rhodes may have it. Looks like he has other plans here.
I think he was just looking to soften him up a little.
Nobody comes back from this.
Wow, we might just be witnessing the end of The Undertaker.
Dusty Rhodes may have it.
The bionic elbow from the Dream.
And put it if you will.